Did you know that the harder people try to improve themselves, the further they drift from what they are actually searching for? Many people believe they're moving forward, when in reality they're quietly moving backward without realizing it. I know your life is busy and your time is incredibly valuable. And I also know that what I'm about to share isn't something you can fully grasp in just one listen. So my sincere advice is this. Watch this video until the end, save the playlist, and return to it whenever you have space to listen again. Because what you hear at the very end may permanently end a silent inner struggle you've been carrying for years. This video is not here to turn you into someone else. It doesn't promise enlightenment, higher consciousness, or a more spiritual version of you. This is the story of Bankei, a Zen master known for a statement so simple that it unsettles almost everyone who hears it. Any effort to make progress is already a step away from the unborn. If you happened to come across this video, it wasn't random. Something in you resonated with it before you even clicked. This video didn't appear to teach you something new. It appeared to help you remember, to guide you back home. A layman once came to Bankei and asked quietly, "People say you can read other people's thoughts. Is that true?" It's not a strange question. Human beings have always been fascinated by extraordinary abilities. Mind reading, foresight, intuition, supernatural powers. But Bankei simply smiled and answered in the most ordinary way. "There's no place for such strange abilities here." He continued, "Even if I had such powers, I wouldn't use them. Because when one lives in the unborn Buddha mind, everything functions naturally and harmoniously. There's no need for side tricks." People believed Bankei could read minds only because his comments often landed precisely on what they were silently struggling with. But the truth was simpler. He wasn't reading minds. He was fully present in the unborn, the place where clarity arises on its own. When awareness is natural and unobstructed, no special abilities are needed. The desire to be extraordinary is simply the ego asking to be noticed. But then, someone raised a different concern, one far more familiar. Another layman stood up, his voice filled with unease. "I've practiced for many years. Sometimes I think I've made progress, but then I slip back again. How can I reach a point where I never regress?" This question feels personal to many of us. Bankei looked directly at him and replied simply, "Live in the unborn. There is no regression there, and no progress either." He explained, "The moment you want to move forward, you've already stepped away from the unborn." A person who lives in the unborn is not concerned with rising or falling because they never left the source. The desire to become better is often a sign that you've drifted away from what is already whole. At this point, another monk objected. A monk said, "I've studied the koan Hyakujo's fox for a long time, but I still don't understand it. Is it because my concentration isn't deep enough?" Bankei answered bluntly, "I don't have people here wasting time on old documents like that." He wasn't rejecting koans, he was pointing out something deeper. When you don't yet know the unborn, he said, every koan becomes extra work and only exhausts you further. Another monk asked, "Then are all the ancient koans useless?" Bankei replied calmly, "In the past, every word spoken by Zen masters arose directly from the situation before them. Today, you're turning those responses into homework, creating unnecessary labor for yourself. If you remain in the unborn, that is enough. Why invent more things to do? Adding methods adds illusion." Then came the strangest question of all. A monk asked, If a man who is blind, deaf, and mute appeared before you, how would you teach him? Bankei laughed. You spend a great deal of time thinking about such people. But right now, you are not blind, deaf, or mute. Why not return and look at yourself first? He continued, instead of chasing theoretical scenarios, go straight into yourself. The mind prefers distant hypotheticals to avoid direct self-confrontation. Yet another attachment remained, one deeply rooted in religion. Two monks who strictly observed all 250 precepts asked Bankei, "We believe that keeping the precepts will lead us to Buddhahood. Is that good or bad?" Bankei said it wasn't wrong, but it wasn't the highest either. He explained sharply, precepts exist because some people do not naturally live rightly. Someone who doesn't drink doesn't need rules against alcohol. Someone who doesn't steal doesn't need rules against theft. When you advertise that you keep precepts, you are quietly admitting that you might break them. In the unborn, there is no keeping and no breaking. Women traveled long distances in winter to meet Bankei. Some had lost parents, others had lost children. Bankei did not console them gently. He said something very hard to hear. You are harming the dead. They were stunned. No amount of grief, he explained, has ever brought the dead back to life. It only turns the living mind into ignorance. If you truly love them, stop mourning. Unending grief drags both the living and the dead downward. But if loss returns you to the unborn, then even death carries merit. True love does not destroy the mind. It preserves clarity. A layman from Izumo bowed deeply and asked, "They say that when someone is enlightened like you, he can see past, present, and future as clearly as the palm of his hand. Is that true?" Bankei didn't answer immediately. Instead, he asked, "Did this question just arise now, or have you been thinking about it for a while?" The layman replied honestly, "I've thought about it before." Bankei nodded. "Then set that question aside. Not now." He continued, "What matters right now is not seeing the three worlds, but seeing yourself." Even if Bankei described the three worlds in detail, the man wouldn't understand, because he hadn't seen for himself. "You're counting someone else's money," Bankei said, "and none of it belongs to you. If you follow what I tell you and verify it directly, in that very moment, you are a living Buddha." The mind seeks the grand to avoid the essential. Any question that doesn't return you to yourself is misdirected. A monk practiced zazen for 20 years. He slept little. He tried every method. Nothing happened. Then he met Bankei. No ritual, no test. Bankei spoke one word, "Unborn." And instantly the monk understood. "There has never been a teaching like this," he said. "I see now. I was wrong all those years." Bankei replied calmly, 20 years of effort cannot equal the single word, unborn." The monk bowed. "Yes, just as you say." No drama, only clarity. Effort doesn't matter if the direction is wrong. When people hear something simple, the mind immediately asks, "What should I do next? How long should I stay? Is there a step-by-step process?" Bankei saw this clearly. "You keep adding work for yourselves," he said, "and call it practice. That adding is the root of illusion." Simplicity threatens the ego because there's no role left to play. The mind craves control. The unborn needs none. Bankei never said the unborn was a higher state. He never said you must enter it. He only said, stay. Stay with what hears. Stay with what sees. Stay before thought interferes. The unborn is present before effort. Trying to reach it only moves you away. You don't need to become someone else. You only need to stop leaving yourself. So today, what we really saw was this. You don't need special abilities. You don't need to become someone else or reach some higher state. You don't need koans to puzzle your mind or extra effort to push yourself forward. You don't need to prove how good you are or put on a moral performance. And you don't need to drown in grief just to feel deep or sincere. What's being pointed to here is much simpler than all of that. Only this: remain in the unborn. If this video resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and save it. This is the kind of teaching you return to when the mind grows tired again. And tell me in the comments, which part made you pause the longest? That's where we'll continue.